behind me is a community permaculture garden. They are all following some serious principles that align with the permaculture paradigm. This regenerative mindset has leaked into every single raised bed in this community garden. Polycultures, companion planting of all kinds. They have flowers and guilds. There's a food forest starting in the back of this property. I'm gonna give you a walk around. I met a sweet lady here that's giving me a little bit of a tour. I filmed the whole thing for you so that you can then mimic what's happening here in your local community. We've got to get back to the point where we feel that we have the sovereignty in the nation. I am the one in charge of my resources. I have my food, my water, and my shelter under my own belt. And I am the one that has those responsibilities, and so I'm going to take charge of them. And this is exactly how we start the food security level. When we have a community coming together and we have something as powerful as a community garden following permaculture principles, we have not only barter and trade and a good vibe with our friends and family coming in and participating, but we have an ethic that can grow and produce fruit in every other area that we choose to work together. What I'm seeing here, just expanding my thinking in what's possible here in New York. So come check it out. I'll show you the food forest in the back. Let's do a little tour and interview, and then we'll go from there. So right here behind me, they have their compost setups. And it's just some bricks laid out together to create little bins that they are able to then, throw the weeds and the different various organic products from the actual raised beds. And then once those things are discarded into the compost pile, they then go back into the new raised beds. Members pay a fee to have a garden bed here, and that pays and provides for resources such as this deer fence or this sifter. And the scouts are participating locally to be able to create other resources as well. Right here next to me is some finished compost. And then off to the side here, they have a solar panel. This side of the property is where the scouts have a little bit more involvement. Right behind me is a path leading into the forest here. Now, as I've been told, this was an Eagle Scout project, carved out this path through the forest and built this walkway with benches and forts and all of this just beautiful atmosphere. It goes quite a ways down there. Now, if we follow the path, we have this little pond here. Just a little bird bath with some benches beside it, just a beautiful area. Judging by the way that the trees fall and the way that the sun falls across is actually a bit of a sun trap. The sun is then hitting all three sides of this U-shaped area of vegetation from the wild forest, maximizing that solar capacity. The forest edge line has a strong potential to maximize that photosynthesis and really grow along the boundary. Their system that they have here is really an incredible location. And then just behind me is the actual garden. I'm gonna flip the camera around now and show you the two guilds and newly begun food forest. Okay, here we are. So this is in the back of the property, and just entering into the space here, you see two guilds. They've got two fruit trees surrounded by functional species. Herbs for pest prevention, varieties for medicinal use, mullein plants that looks like they will chop and drop as a green manure. They've got some vining varieties in here, some raspberry and blackberries, another mullein plant here. They've let this go wild because that brings in the pollinators. As much as people don't like to think that weeds are very appealing, in nature, every single weed serves a function. See, and even right here in the beginning of the entrance here, they've got these three companion plants, four actually, all put together, creating just this really beautiful little guild system. And then some sage here, some more vining varieties and some flowering. Looks like they've got some milk thistle tucked into the back. And then another fruit tree. They've got thyme and oregano and some really common garden herbs. And then they blend it all together in this area. If you were to look at an overhead, you would see a circle here and you'd see a circle here. And then it looks like they're just gonna have this woven path through it. And they're gonna take this all the way to the back and follow the edge line of this sun trap. So how cool is that? This community has not only begun something that's well, profitable in the first place, just for the sake of giving somebody a space to feel that peace who may not have the area to grow. Bringing community together and having something regenerative that they all can participate in. And as I give you some close-up shots of the inside of this garden here, I want you to really consider the way that they've laid out some of these beds. Not everybody is following these principles intentionally, and a lot of this is, you know, room for adjustment in a permaculture perspective and from a designer's perspective. But what they've done, just taking care of their own, is just gorgeous. And I really see very little of a polyculture method with so many flowers, especially in the West. And so to be here in New York and to see what's happening in so many properties, and then to stumble across this awesome opportunity here, really just expanded my hope for humanity here in the area, because there's just such a power to what they're doing. I'm going to show you the inside now, so stay tuned and we'll give you the tour of the indoors.
This is totally organic. You're not allowed to use it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the main
Totally
rules.
chemical free in here?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I could have.
We've got a what do you call it? Solar panel back there. You see? That's for the
Over on the
tools
shed?
in the
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a really. I have a plot in my garden.
Really beautiful.
Back there. You see where the cordoning off one is there?
Yeah.
The purple cosmos. Mine is the next one over, which has a ton more flowers. So yeah, I put flowers in and I try and cram in some peppers and tomatoes.
Do you want to give me a video tour?
Sure.
And what was your name?
Patty.
I didn't actually say hi. I'm Jamin.
Nice, Jamin.
Jamin.
Nice to meet you.
Yep. Yeah, Jamin Mishlevich.
So this is the Penfield Community Garden,
Okay.
and we used to be able to get 2 plots per person, but there's so many people that want plots now that those of us who are grandfathered in get to keep our 2 plots, but everybody else only gets 1. And then this year they were even cutting some in half. So
Why did they start cutting them in half? Just because more interest?
Because if people give up their garden for whatever reason, they've got more land, or they're just not into it anymore, then we have one. There's always a wait list to get in here.
Gotcha.
And
See, this lady did hops.
yep.
That's pretty cool.
This hops plant had a story. This guy is gone now. He's moved down to North Carolina with his family.
Okay.
But he has a friend that took it over because this is a family heirloom.
Oh, awesome.
I don't know if they use it, because I see some of the hops is done.
Maybe take some cuttings and.
Yeah. And then we've got all kinds
Oh,
of,
look at that.
this guy. Yeah, these are delicious.
That's beautiful.
It's
Just
not for me to give away, but
a
I tried
crimson
one of
tomato.
because I don't know who this person is. But there's so many of them, and they're falling on the ground.
Right.
So I'm going to ask him for some seeds.
Oh, thank you.
And these are piquinos, these little ones. There's a guy that's from Brazil, and he grows those and makes some kind of pepper sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, these get toasty. There is a really good focus in this whole area on flowers.
Yeah. I've been reading up a lot. I just really started getting into growing a lot of cutting flowers. Everything I have I grew from seed, which is great.
Nice. Very nice.
I'm so proud of doing that, because I always went to the garden centers, and
Right.
the best ones in the whole county closed. They've been open for 50 years,
Oh, man.
and I was really happy to have. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah, see, so this is yours here, right?
I just picked a whole
Oh,
bunch
man.
of stuff from here.
And whose is this one?
This is the neighbors.
Just the neighbors?
Yeah.
Looks like they kind of have your system going. They got some
little bit,
flowers in the
yeah.
front going
She
into
said
some
next year she wants
veggies.
to grow more flowers.
Yeah.
She wants a cutting garden.
So all you're missing is a beekeeper.
Yeah, really. 'Cause look-
Yeah, we do natural beekeeping. We use a horizontal hive. It is more mimicking of nature for the bees.
Uh-huh.
And so there's no chemicals, there's no sugar feed
Same
over the
here.
winter.
This is totally organic. You're not allowed to use any.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the main.
Totally
rules.
chemical free in here?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
It is. It's all, we get compost in every spring, or
Yeah.
there's a compost pile here that we have here, and I used a ton of it this year, but it grew so many weeds.
Right,
so
right.
Get out of them.
I noticed there's quite a few beds with no mulch.
I did put some straw in mine this year and a little bit of mulch, but I was concerned about mulch. Tell me I'm wrong. I hope I am, because I'd like to use it. that something about the mulch would change the pH of the soil more than
It's very dependent on the plant that you're growing. For example, if it's a perennial plant, perennials grow in a forest environment in nature, so they actually like a fungal dominant soil.
Okay,
so you'd use a mulch like
mushroom?
wood chips.
Okay. Oh, wood chips.
Yeah,
is
or
good
wood
for
or
that.
mushroom compost, things
Okay.
like that. But if it's an annual plant, then you actually want to stick to grasses, things that are more bacterial
I didn't know
dominant,
that. Okay.
because they grow in the fields.
So even tomatoes, peppers, annual vegetables.
Yeah, tomatoes will do okay in wood chips, but they do great in straw. Garlic can do great in straw. Peppers do amazing in wood chips because they're actually.
Because I grow a lot of peppers every year, and I know they get overshaded.
Yeah.
I get carried away with flowers that are this big.
Yeah.
Like that Cosmo right there. You know, that was 2 little tiny plants that I put in there, and I've just cut it way back. So then back here, this I don't know. Last year there was a woodchuck living in there and a giant boulder, and they've just let this one go for some reason. They don't usually do that. Back here is a children's garden, but lots of dill keeps reseeding itself.
Yeah.
And you see, and we also have a food bank donation thing, and I'm looking at these tomatoes that nobody's touched in God knows how long.
You're thinking like, I'm just gonna go donate these. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what they should do, and most of them are rotting now. This is
Right.
how it gets the end of the season.
Yeah,
Beginning,
yeah.
Everybody's all gung ho, and this is this raspberry patch for everybody.
A community raspberry patch.
Yeah,
Very
and
cool.
then I guess maybe they switched.
Wow.
I think this is still the children's garden. Yeah, and she brings school groups here too. The woman's name is Dot, the school teacher. And
Yes, and
her
they.
daughter brought her daughter's Girl Scout troop here.
So they're teaching the kids.
Yeah,
Pretty
and,
young.
And
that's good.
What's going to be? See, there's
The start of the food forest.
yeah, the food forest. They planted some fruit trees and a couple things.
Oh my goodness,
and
I
they
really.
just as grant here, they're going to add to it. They're going to continue it and make a bigger children's garden. I think is the plan back
Really?
there. Yeah, and have school groups come.
I would love to see the plants that they selected for that. Food forests are very design centered. I mean, you don't just, it's not just whatever looks good or you feel like you want to grow. It's based on their function. So like there's nitrogen fixing species, there's pollinator attractors, pest deterrents.
I imagine she probably knows what she's doing since she's been doing this for a while.
Well,
But she's also the science teacher.
It looks like she's got 2 guilds there.
Give you the email address
Oh,
of
I'd
the
love to.
community garden head people if you want to talk to them. And then they donate a thing at the end of the year. We have a raffle at the end of the year. And everything. So anyway, this
Very
is
cool.
still a work in progress. It's coming.
Well, you've selected some beautiful flowers for late season. Look.
Dahlias. They're just coming into their best. Actually.
Yeah. What kind of flowers do you have here?
Those are zinnias. Sunflowers, obviously. These are dahlias over here.
Right. The big pink one there on the end. Nice big bushy one.
Oh, that's Cosmos.
Cosmo. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was my mom used to bring.
That's gorgeous. It's nice to be able to travel and to see things like this.
Yeah,
you know.
Stumbled on a good one.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a gold mine here. Yeah, it's a little sad that I can't have a garden bed on a trailer behind me because we just have I have a guild system, polyculture or companion planting around a lemon tree in a big pot that we just put in our camper. We just take that everywhere. That's our garden. I got a tomato plant growing in there. Like,
who are you with?
I got my wife and 5 boys.
You're kidding.
Yeah, we got a big
And
family.
you all travel together? Are they homeschooled?
They are.
Oh my God.
Yep, we travel and teach and
boys.
homeschool and work, and
Bless your heart.
it's good fun. They're good helpers.
How old are they?
My oldest is 8. Yeah.
My neighbors across the street have 5 kids
Right.
and friends and stuff
And
like
that social aspect is
Yeah.
absolutely critical.
It is.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Oh, look at the...
That's very cool. You guys have done absolutely amazing. Is there a chance that I could walk back to the food forest over there?
Sure. You
Just-
have to go outside.
Okay. You're so awesome for showing me around.
Oh, I'm glad you caught me. So where does your family stay?
Right now we are over at Webster.
So you're in Webster Park?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we had. That's just gorgeous. Can I take a picture of that?
Mm-hmm.
So
You
when I
sound
was
like the people that I look at on YouTube all the time.
Well, we're on
So
YouTube.
jealous. Are you?
Yeah, we just started actually. I've got some good friends that have been doing it for a while, but
Oh, what is what?
here I'll give you. Yeah, the way that we do compost is we typically select species that are activators, like comfrey.
Uh-huh.
If you do your compost and then you jam your comfrey into the top, it acts like a stimulator.
Oh.
Kickstarts everything.
I know that. I
Boosts the
watch a
nitrogen.
British gardening show. It's called Gardener's World, and he's always talking about comfrey tea
Yeah.
and making. They're very big into it in England. About,
Oh, that's great.
Organic everything.
Oh, this is gonna be so beautiful.
Yeah.
They've got,
Coming back there in a while.
so they have some blackberries. I'm looking for comfrey. It looks like that's some comfrey there. And then various ground covers, some thyme,
Basic weeds.
trees, lots of grass.
Yeah.
That stuff is terrible. It's relentless.
I know, it is.
And then
We'll
they've got
get
the
in
wood
here
chip
and,
mulch
you
in the
know,
back.
Pull it all together. But it's great, you know, when we get the scouts in on stuff and they're working for their Eagle Scout badges and so forth, they do a lot of nice things here.
Well, it looks like their focus is on the right paradigm. They're in the right mindset, right? They got two big comfreys on both sides of both trees.
I didn't know that about the compost pile. I'll have to ask my daughter if she knows. And then she and I both watch this other guy from Great Britain, Charles Dowding, I think is his name.
Oh, he's great.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
With the no-till.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Comfrey is it's fantastic in the compost too, but the reason they've got it by the tree here is because it's known as a green manure. So at the end of every season you chop and drop that.
Okay.
It's not super dense like some fertilizing plants can be, some other green manures, but in nutrient, but what it is more bioavailable. And so that huge taproot that it has, it's pulling up nutrients, and at the end of the season, when you chop and drop it right under the fruit tree, it fertilizes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it does sound like they know what they're doing.
Yep.
This is pretty. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, there's a whole system to what they've got going on here. This is oregano. This is oregano.
It is. Look at the flowers. I've never seen this particular flower. Mine has little tiny white flowers on it.
Yep.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, sage they've got over here.
Yeah, sage I saw.
Yeah. Oh man.
I gotta head home.
Okay.
And I have to lock up.
That's pretty much the coolest thing ever. She is super nice. Headed back home, I caught her just as she was walking away, so I hope that you enjoyed that walkthrough. They had a food forest starting in the back. How cool is that? I will drop a link down below to the food forest how-to, the breakdown of the layers, and how you can do the guild rule of 3 system. They have the rule of 3 system started. I'm really curious to come back in like a year, maybe 2-ish, to see how they've developed the rest of their food forest. And I might even chime in and check up and see if I can lend a hand in helping them do that, because, oh man, they're doing great. I think the thing that stands out to me the most about them is the fact that they have so many members of the community garden actually getting the point. They are actually companion planting. There are flowers in almost every single bed. There are beautiful pest-deterring herbs in every single bed, even medicinal species, whether they know that all of this or not. That's what they're doing. And the science behind it is, you know, irrelevant as long as you're doing the diversity in your raised beds, the diversity in your garden, because that's what thrives. And did you see how many things they're getting out of this garden? There's food galore. There's so much just laying on the ground because they can't harvest it all. You know, people's schedules are more intense than allows them to handle the abundance that they're getting out of this community garden. Absolutely incredible. Totally in love with this. I'm going to connect with the founders and their whole plan and vision for this land and how they're going to do this in the future. So stay tuned for that. Also, she gave me one of those beautiful black tomatoes. I ate one, and then I asked if I could get another one so that I could take the seeds out. I'm going to plant this with my guild in my lemon tree in my trailer so that we can have black tomatoes on the road.